Thank you for tuning in again to the Good Day with Olivia show here on the KAZ Radio and Television Network. I'm your host, Olivia Winstead, here to serve up the good news happening right here in the city of Cleveland, keeping you informed, engaged, and connected. Cleveland, when was the last time you opened a book? What do you recall from your reading experience? For many people, reading is a real experience that is comparable to and even surpassing everyday life experiences. People do experience true adventure as they are flipping through the pages of their favorite book. Structure gives a story character, a unique style, carefully selected verbs, nouns, and adjectives create dialogue and stimulating imagery that is captivating and lasting. Words form stories, and stories teach lessons. This is the reading experience. If books offer this much adventure for those reading it, imagine what the experience is like for those writing the story, creating the story, the authors. I have here in the studio with me today a Cleveland teen and author who is ready to dig into the writing experience by sharing his own experiences. This young man has already published 2 books of his own, and he's not even 16 years old. He's paired his literary gift with his fascination with haunted houses and ghost stories. While most teens are reading thrillers, he's writing them. I'd like to welcome to the studio this morning Keenan Barnes and his mother, expert in raising a boy genius, Cynthia Hall, and a very special guest. I'm sorry, could you speak into the mic? What's your name again, Dad?
Kabia Hall.
Kabia Hall. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you made it this morning. And apparently, you're already a Cleveland celeb. You had a Channel 3 interview.
Yes.
What was that like?
I was a little nervous at first, but then I kind of pulled through, yeah.
Well, I'm so happy you decided to come and join us on my show today. Before we get right into the topic, let's talk about you. You're from Cleveland.
Yes.
Okay. How long have you been in Cleveland? Mom, Dad, are you from Cleveland? How long have you guys been here?
Born and raised.
As well, born and raised.
Yeah.
Born and raised. Where do you go to school, Keenan?
I go to Cleveland Heights High School.
Cleveland Heights High School. Shout out to Cleveland Heights.
Yeah.
Mom, where do you work?
I'm currently a registered nurse. I work at Select Specialty Hospital, but I also have my own business that I'm starting with private duty nursing.
Dad?
I self-employed, own my own business, KNC Final Tax Preservation.
You guys are doing some great things in the city.
Yes.
Very ambitious family.
Thank you.
Keenan, what grade are you in?
I'm in the 9th grade.
You're in the 9th grade. Let's talk about, your first year of high school. What is your involvement with your school? Are you like school president, captain of a football team or something? What are you doing?
No, I'm basically just a normal kid.
Just a normal kid?
Yeah.
A 15-year-old author?
Yes.
You're not a normal kid. What are your plans for college?
Well, I plan on going to colleges for creative writing, such as like Michigan or Iowa.
Have you started touring already?
No, I haven't.
Okay. We got some great colleges here in Ohio, Cleveland State,
Yeah.
Notre Dame College. But you know, I wish you well on your journey. So obviously you love writing.
Yes.
You must love reading, I assume.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite book?
Probably Gone Girl by
Gone
Gillian.
Girl.
Yeah.
Why is that your favorite book?
Well, since I'm interested in psychology, and that's like a psychological thriller book, it seems to like fit my interest, and I love thriller and psychology.
So you're interested in going to college for creative writing, but you're also interested in psychology? Are you going to pair the two somehow?
Yes, sometimes I would kind of do it in writing too. So like psychology in writing.
Very interesting. What makes a good book? What makes a great book? As a reader, what are you looking for in a book?
Well, I'm looking for like the characters, because it's all about the characters and like how they develop and how they can relate to you. Like, I think the characters are important because they have to relate to you in some way. They can't be perfect because a perfect character is pretty boring. So they have to have flaws to make them more interesting and dynamic. So I think the character growth and the dynamics is like what makes the story good.
When did the love for writing begin?
Well, I would say when I first started, which was before I created my series, it was like in the 5th grade, I started writing short stories. And then after that, I've been looking at like different kind of stories, like short, scary stories that I was really interested in. So then I kind of created my own. And that was kind of going into the 6th grade until the 7th grade.
So you love horror stories.
Mhm.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay. So what horror stories have you read? What triggers your interest?
It's just reading stories like short stories like Stephen King and like Goosebumps series by R.L. Stein. Those
Those are great books.
Yeah.
I remember reading those as a little girl, so I didn't know kids were still reading Goosebumps.
Yeah.
But how many books have you written, Keenan?
I wrote 3 books in total.
You've written 3, but you have 2 published.
Yes.
What's going on with that 3rd one?
It's going to be published this fall.
Okay, so that's a newer story.
Yes.
Okay, so you want to keep us waiting for that one? You're not releasing any details about that one just
No.
yet? Okay, just keep us guessing. Let's talk about your most recent published work. When did you publish it? Was it this year?
It was this year.
Okay.
Yes, in February.
Okay, talk about it.
Well,
What inspired this story? What is it about?
this series, well, the first book is about a boy who moves into a new house and he has to recover from his father's death that occurred like a year or 2 before. So he tried to start fresh with his mother by living in a new house and meeting new people in the neighborhood. But little did he know that there's like a sinister creature haunting him and threatening to do harm.
What inspired this story? Did you dream about it one day and just wrote it down on paper? Where are the ideas coming from? How are you generating these ideas?
Well, my overall idea for a trilogy came from the Hunger Games and the Divergent trilogy, and I knew that I wanted to write a trilogy. So then I also knew that I wanted to make it horror, so I decided to get something that scared me, like in the past, which was this creature that I manifested, and I just kind of threw it together.
Wow. So all 3 books are connected. These are trilogies. So
Yeah.
I didn't realize. So these 2 are related. Same character in both all 3 stories.
Yeah, it follows along.
Okay. Who is this main character? Is this main character you?
No, it's not me. It's a fictional character named Ryan Kavanaugh.
Ryan Kavanaugh. And who inspired this character? Anyone in your life?
No, not really. I just wanted to have a character that was struggling through some things.
How would you describe his struggle? How would you describe his journey? What is the message you're trying to relay to people without giving too much detail?
Well, before, like, being haunted by the creature, he started going through some things from his father's death, like, stages of grief and, like, denial and stuff.
So the haunting experience for him, is it tied into the emotions that's haunting him from his father's passing, his grieving experience? Is that related? Is there like a relation there?
Yes, it's like he's not really able to function correctly if he's still getting haunted by the death of his father. Like, he has to get past that in order to defeat this creature along with other people.
Why horror stories?
I just really love horror stories. I've been like reading and watching horror since I was very little. Yeah.
So publishing, could you talk about that process? A lot of people, I'm sure, are out there writing stories. They don't know how to get it out. How did you reach out to a publishing agency, like you have your own publisher, is that right?
Yes.
So how do you even begin that process? I know obviously first you have to write the book.
Yeah.
What's the next step?
I guess my dad knew some lady from high school, and she's a publisher. Her name is Ebony Webster.
Okay, Dad.
And have her own company.
Yeah.
She actually she's the owner and CEO of her publishing company, which is Dream Writer Communications and Publishing. So it kind of just fell out there because it was a journey trying to do research. Like once I saw that he wanted to write, and he was just sitting at the dining room table one day, and just writing, drawing, and I just stopped and say, hey, what are you doing? And he kept doing it every day. So once I saw that he wanted to write a book, I said, Keenan, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm writing a book. You're writing a book? So I kind of followed that, and so I knew that I wanted to go ahead and encourage him, to do more. So I said, this is a book, so let me do some research to find publishing companies. And that research was, it was a lot. And so it was just a blessing for us to, like, Ebony just kind of like fell into our hands. And she has her own small publishing company, self-publishing company, and
Can
that's
you share
how,
the name again?
Yes, Dream Writers Communications and Publishing.
Okay, now once she becomes the publisher, does she do all the promoting?
Yeah, she actually she does help with promoting and just getting him out there, setting up interviews. She actually set up the WKYC interview with Jim Donovan. So she definitely, it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop with getting a book published. She definitely wants everyone to know who Keenan Barnes is, and want to know about his book series and future projects. So she definitely is very supportive of his dream, and we're going to continue with her. She's going to continue with us.
So you said you saw Keenan in the dining room writing a story. How old was he?
Oh my goodness. So he's, like he said, maybe 5th, 6th grade. He didn't start out with the trilogy. What he started out with was it was a comic book series. It was a lot of different short stories, horror stories. It kind of put you in the mind of like Creepshow from when I was growing up. And then he does his own illustrations. So, and at that time he was younger, so he was actually developing as an artist as well. So, he was drawing, he was writing, and then it turned into series. Like he just throw ideas out there. It doesn't take him long at all. Like he probably finish a series in a couple of days. Wow. Ideas just rolls off his head, and like he'll have a dream about something, he'll get up, he'll write it down. So I just saw him, and it was during the summertime. And sometimes, you may not pay attention to things. You'll see him reading, writing, and say, hey, what are you doing? So once I saw that he actually put this together, I knew that I wanted to kind of keep him encouraged. But then he stopped and decided, like one day he said, you know what? I want to write a trilogy. And so that's how we started with the Pale One series. And amazing.
You're a talented young man.
Yeah, to write 3 books in less than 2 years.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed. Yeah. Where can we find your books?
You can find them on Amazon, or you can just buy one from me straight from here.
Okay.
Amazon, Kindle.
Yeah.
Amazon and Kindle.
Kindle.
Okay, guys, check out Amazon and Kindle. And could you tell us the name of the books that are already out?
Well, my first book is called Pale One, and the second one is called Resurged One.
Pale One and Resurged, and these are two of the upcoming trilogy. Is it already a trilogy, even though the third one isn't out yet?
Yes.
Okay. So check out those books on Amazon. Keenan, can you describe your life? What is it like as a Cleveland teen? And how does your experience tie into your creative abilities? What has it been like for you growing up here in Cleveland, and what have you pulled from your experiences as you're creating and writing your stories?
Well, it's just things that occurred in my life I kind of put in my story. Like, for example, in the sixth grade, I went to camp with my school, and that's what inspired me to make my sequel about the kids going to camp. So that kind of inspired me.
So you told me you told me what your favorite book was, but who's your favorite author? Mine is Michael Crichton because I love Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
But what
I like Stephen King.
Stephen King.
Yeah.
What makes a great author? You describe what makes a great book, but what makes a great author? Is it just his writing abilities? Is it just what he's putting down on paper? What are you looking for?
Well, I think authors overall, they have to like make all the characters known and make them dynamic instead of static, and they have to go into the minds of each and every one. That's why I really like third person, but also first person is also good too. But I like third person because you actually get to see the mind inside various characters and how they feel about something instead of just basically one person experiencing something. So that, yeah, I think just about the characters and how the author makes the character, and I also like the setting and how it's described, like how you would actually describe if you were in that particular situation or setting.
How do you become an author? Are you just simply writing down your stories and boom, you're an author? Is that how that works? Is it as simple as that?
Well, I suppose. I mean, you can just I think as long as you write and be confident that you could be an author, or you are an author basically. And I think if you actually have it published, and you're officially an author, but you can still count yourself as an author even if you just write something.
What is it like to be an author?
Well,
Do you have people at school like running up to you asking for,
Yes.
for your autograph?
they did after I was on TV.
Oh, that is pretty cool.
Thanks.
Talk about that. What is that like? How does that feel?
Well, it was very thrilling to me, yeah. Like being on TV and just having that experience. And also just writing, I know, I'm not going to lie, it's kind of tough because you sometimes get writer's block. So you get to like stop after like a few weeks and stuff until you actually get to go back into it. So, and it's just school, like I have to do school work and write at the same time.
How do you balance all of that?
Well, obviously I put school first, and then on my
Say that
free time-
again. You put what first?
School first.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I write like on the weekend or whatever, or like over break.
Okay. Do you have any other hobbies then, or is writing?
I
is
draw.
it-
Yeah,
You
I draw
draw?
and read. Yeah.
Draw and read. Okay.
Yeah.
So I won't catch you on the basketball court necessarily. You're going to be in your room reading or writing.
Yeah.
Drawing.
Mhm.
Okay. How do you I think I asked you this already, but how do you brainstorm? What are you doing to generate your ideas? Are you locking yourself in your room and not coming out until something is produced, or are you going out? What are you doing? Knocking yourself upside the head with a rock? How are you getting the ideas out?
I just read other writing and see how the author portrays their characters, so I kind of do the same. I just kind of take ideas from like, you know, different horror and like things that I would want to write about and what would scare me with horror. Yeah.
What is so unique about your writing style?
Well, unlike other authors who are obviously adults, I'm a child. So, of course, I wouldn't be like very well developed in my writing, but I'll still be good at it. Yeah.
Okay, so coming from a younger perspective, that's what makes your writing unique.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Is writing an art?
Yes, it is. I think literature and art are ways of, you know, expressing yourself and how do you feel about something. Yeah.
What is an author's role in society? Why is it so important to create, write, and share stories? What's your role?
Well, well, yeah, like I said, it's like about like expressing yourself because, you know, people be having things inside them that they just want to like bring out and they don't know how to do it, so they find a way to do it by like reading or writing or drawing and all that stuff, just to let it come out in a different format so that you get to send a message like to people or whatever. Like if you're really angry, then you write or draw something that depicts anger and you would just send it out there for people to view it.
Okay, so you're creating content that is inspiring other people to dig within, to teach them a lesson, getting your message across, and that's your role as an author.
Yes.
Mom, I'm going to throw the interview towards you and you, Dad. Okay, so what is it like being Keenan's mom and dad? Most kids are staying up at night. Parents are fussing at them because they're staying up watching TV and Lord knows what else. But Keenan's staying up because he's writing the next book in his trilogy. So what is it like being his mother, his father?
I'm first going to start off by saying it's a blessing. Our children are blessings. And it's amazing. It's busy now that he's a published author. But just, I'm going to say Keenan, he's not your typical teenager. I mean, he does like to stay up sometime, but like you said, it's he's reading, he's drawing, he's writing. But for the most part, like even on the weekend, like it'll be 10 o'clock and Keenan's like, okay, good night, I'm going to bed. He want to rest his mind, so he can wake up in the morning and start all over again. And this is something that he constantly does. And I mean, it's amazing to see, him doing something so wonderful, so productive. So, I mean, just, you don't really see that. And he started off so young. He was 13 when his first book was published. And, I mean, 2 years later, he's still at it. He still has the same passion for it. But, I mean, I'm glad that, he doesn't like to, I mean, he's homebody. He doesn't ask for much. He doesn't like to do much. So sometime I can say, Keenan, you want to go somewhere? You want to leave the house? Just so he doesn't, so he can get used to doing what other teenagers may want to do. But if you ask Keenan what he want to do, what would you say, Keenan?
Draw, right?
He want to stay home. You want to go to the mall? I mean, you want to go, he want to stay home. He want to write. He want to read. He want to draw. And it's fun for him. And, so I'll find him, I'll come in, hey, where's Keenan? He's upstairs in his room, earbuds in, listening to classical music. He likes to listen to a lot of soundtracks, instrumental, can't even get the word out, but he said it helps him focus. So yeah, it's a blessing.
With all the stereotypes, with all the challenges of raising an African American male, how do you produce this? A child author in the city of Cleveland, with all the stereotypes you can imagine people have about Cleveland teens. How is this the product?
I'm going to say, if you see, because he started off with his gift and his interest so young, so to kind of keep him doing something productive and keep his mind going in a productive way, I'm going to say just, if you see your kids like to do something, just while they're young, invest, support them and keep them at it, keep them busy with it. He doesn't have time to go out and, do anything else that, would be, with the stereotypes and things like that, because what he likes to do, it just keeps him busy. And I want to keep encouraging him to do that. And we do a pretty good job with that.
Have you written any books, Mom?
No, years ago I thought about like doing a bio, but and English was my favorite subject in school, and I'm pretty good with writing, but I just haven't done any of my own projects.
I'm trying to figure out what was your role in inspiring Keenan to write? Did you read to him every night as a child?
I'm going to say this, and every time I tell people this, they laugh at me. So I was that mom that when my kids were very young, toddlers, I would say, let's watch a scary movie. We always watch scary movies. So I was that mom, and so that's what kind of triggered his interest early on with watching Halloween and Freddy Krueger.
So I shouldn't feel bad about letting my 4-year-old watch Jurassic Park?
No. I was that mom. We're going to sit down and we're going to eat some popcorn. We're going to watch the scary movie.
Providing those experiences to him. Wow. When did you realize that Keenan had this gift? Was it just when he began writing, or were there any signs when he was a young child that he had a gift? What was he doing as a toddler?
Role playing, imagination. He would, like I said, if he would watch Halloween and then he would act like he is Michael Myers, or he did a lot of impersonating as a young child. So that's pretty much what started it. And then I saw him, like I said, he would write, he would draw. When he was very young, he would draw Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, and just would be into it. And he would just sit there and he would stare at it, and then go back and watch the movie, pause the movie, draw. And he was very young doing that. So that's pretty much what started it, I believe.
I'm going to say that he's ahead of his time. I mean, I always known that, conversation-wise, he doesn't hold a conversation like your normal teen does. He can actually hold a conversation with an adult and can maintain it. So with that being said, by him being ahead of his time, this allowed him to move so easily through, in what he do.
What is your relationship like with Keenan, and what kind of conversations are you able to have with each other?
Well, I always tell him the sky's the limit, and I always say the sky's the limit because I use that off of myself and what I did and where I'm at now, and so I woo that off to the kids to move forward. Don't let nothing stop you. Whatever you put in is what you're gonna get out, and as parents, we're gonna back you in what you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm. And maybe you've already provided an answer for this. I was going to give this to you, Mom, but maybe for the both of you guys. Mm-hmm. And Keenan, you interject too, and you tell me, what has your role been as he's discovered his literary abilities? And Keenan, you throw in your opinions. What role have they played as you discovered your artistic abilities?
Very supportive. They were very supportive. They believed in me and said, if you want to do this, then go ahead.
And I'm going to say I agree. Just, I, of course, just very supportive and keep encouraging him.
Definitely.
And encourage others, and
how important, you mentioned investing in your children, mm-hmm. How important is it to invest in your child's gifts, and how do you invest? What does it require?
I'm going to say, time, patience, definitely. I mean, it's very important because you want your kids to know that, you believe in them and, you support them. You want to encourage them. You want the best for them. So when you see that they, have interest, you definitely want to take note of that. You want to pay attention and let them know that it's important to you as well as them.
When you invest, what happens?
Excellence. One word, excellence.
Black excellence.
Hey, I'm all for it. Keenan, how do you want to close out this interview? What is your message to the viewers out there? What is your message to the young, or maybe not so young, but new authors and writers? What do you have to say to them?
Well, just always believe in yourself, and no matter how people try to take that away from you, just still believe it in your heart. And not everyone reads, but you are able to. So I'm not telling you have to read. I'm just saying it would be wonderful if you did, because reading is awesome. to me.
Let them know how they can reach out to you. Can they follow you on Facebook?
Yes, you can follow me on Facebook at Writer's World with Keenan Barnes.
All right. Thank you, Cleveland, for tuning in. Don't forget to check out Keenan Barnes on Amazon. And don't forget to stop by the Good Day with Olivia Show's page on Facebook. You can follow me at kaz.gdwo, or you can follow me on Instagram at comm_n_law. I will see you guys next week. Stay tuned for another interesting and exciting interview here on the KZ Network. Signing off.